one, you can't pay yourself. You can have a problem that you're obsessed with. Mr. Woody, what's going on? You can have a problem that you have that you're obsessed with solving, but now you have to find someone else that also has that problem, or else you can't actually move that business. Who's going to pay you? You could want something all you want. You can have a huge passion for something as much as you want, but who's going to pay you? So I was reading this book that touches on this topic called Gift to Grow, and I felt this was very relevant to just spend a few minutes talking about that, what that means, and um, how it can help you, so how it can help us. So, who's read this book? Hey, Kara. Hey, Bad Johnson. Who's read this book before, and what are your thoughts on it? If you haven't read the book, just drop a two in the comments, just so that I can have an idea of who the experts are in this book, or in this idea, this concept. Um, so at the core, we kind of understand the idea that um, you need other people to support your business and pay you in order for it to grow. Um, but this book breaks down so many different sections. It starts by talking about what the truths are. So the core theme within that section, it says relationships aren't a nice to have. They're actually a growth engine. And giving is a practical strategy, and it's not just random generosity. All right. So some of us just like to give, give, give. So I have a personality quiz for entrepreneurs, and one of those personality types is a change maker. And with a change maker, you really, really, really want to help. You're motivated by impact, being able to solve a problem that you're super passionate about. You want to avoid a preventable harm. That's like a Martin Luther King, or just someone who just cannot stand injustice in some way. So, with a change maker, sometimes what can happen is you can get a little bit too passionate about something and not think about how you're going to sustain the business, because it's all about the mission, it's all about the love, right? But you need someone to think about how you're going to keep the business running, or you can develop that skill yourself. So you either delegate it or you work on that underdeveloped strength, so that it can become something that can help sustain the business. So um, it's it's not just random generosity. You're not just out there doing random things and out of the kindness of your heart, because you also want to grow your business. How many of you have felt that before, where it's not so much about you doing things, you also have to do things that build the business, and you also have to connect with the people that actually care about the solution that you're solving. So, what relationships have created the biggest leaps in your business? Do we have any entrepreneurs in the do we have any entrepreneurs here? And what relationships have created the biggest leaps in your business? Sometimes it is indirect. Um, I've I've had many interactions with people that, I didn't have any expectations with where it would take me, but it's those interactions that sometimes, because you're just giving, you're just looking to connect, that's when it comes back to you. So my mentor, my commercial real estate mentor, he poured so much into me, and one of the things that he used to say is, look at the signposts to success. There's always clues that people drop so that you can follow. And then the other thing is, the things that you do are going to be the signposts to your success. As you're driving down the road, there are clues that will help you remember why you're doing it and also give you evidence that you are building a business towards the direction that you want. So if you didn't make any cold calls today, then you're probably not interested in getting any sales if that's your method. You're looking for the signpost to success. But anyway, I couldn't pay him for the amount of value that I received from him. That was a relationship where he gave to me to help me grow. And I will always be indebted to him. So it's like there are things that you can do that maybe you're holding back on a little bit, waiting for the right time. Um, but if it's not going to hurt you, what's something that you can just give? Think about it. What's something that you can just give to someone and just allow that to fulfill you? If you're good at giving advice, give someone some advice. Reach out to someone that you can help out a little bit. And everybody has different budgets. Budgets with their time, their budgets with their money. Um, I think I think a lot of us we get caught up in this competitiveness and transaction based method of growing our business. And while you do need transactions, and you do need to be competitive because you're not in it to who's here to fail, right? You need an advantage and you need to keep pushing. You need to grow the business, but at the same time, there is a great power in doing things without expectation because what ends up happening is things just change. Like you can be working on a business and then the market changes. The people who used to um, I don't know, the people who were the top in the industry, maybe they're slipping a little bit and that discourages you. That's why it's important to find a balance between something you're good at, something you're something you love doing, and something that actually is in demand. And the demand is going to fluctuate sometimes, but that should never stop you from going and giving some value. So I was talking to a group of entrepreneurs and we were holding each other accountable. And one thing that we were talking about was what are you willing to give in order for you to reach your goals? We first talked about the goals. We all have these amazing goals that we want to accomplish, whether it's I want a nice big house, I want a nice big car, um, I want to get out of debt, want a lot of money. But it's good to do affirmations, but think about it. You still need some action and you need to give someone some value so that they can give you value back. Those dreams are kind of in everyone else's hands. You have the control, you have the opportunity to make your dream come true by by helping someone else's dream come true or helping them get closer to their dreams in some way. And that could be as simple as entertaining them. You've made me happier, so I'll pay you. You've entertained me, I'll pay you. That's value. You shoveled my snow. We still got some ice around here. I'm in South Jersey. We still got some ice from this snowstorm. It's terrible. So in that instance, if you can shovel some snow, you're providing some value. You know, that person with the shovel, if they're not out shoveling and they're just wishing that they can succeed and reach their goals, that's not going to help them, is it? But if they're willing to give their time, give their energy towards someone and help someone and provide value to someone, then their business grows. And I think that's it sounds like a really simple concept, but I think we forget that. We forget that very often where we start with a selfish goal. Sure, we're all selfish in some way. We start with a selfish goal We say that you want you want your life to be different, but how do you help someone else? All right. And what does being helpful look like in your industry without being fake or needy? Because you're not begging for the success, you're giving someone something, and then that becomes the evidence, that becomes the signposts to your success. That becomes what the clues are to help you remember, okay, this makes sense that I'm headed towards this success because I've been providing this value to people all the time. And where are you currently treating growth like a transaction? You got to talk to the people who need the thing that you want. Sometimes we overcomplicate it. I overcomplicate it sometimes, because I love coming up with marketing strategies. Anyone else here just love strategizing? You think so much and you strategize so much that now the work isn't even getting done. So the only person that you provide value, the only person that you provided value to is yourself in a way, because you've created a plan that's amazing, but no one's seen it yet. No one's experienced it yet. And now you might end up wasting time because someone else that doesn't know as much as you or doesn't have as amazing of a plan as you is going to provide value. So think about it like that. What value can you provide to someone right now? Not after you received this certification, not after you've done whatever. Like right now, you actually can do something for someone right now. And I don't want you to think that you can't because someone else told you that you don't qualify yet. You're not certified yet. Okay, then don't do the thing that requires the certification right now. On your way towards getting the certification, do something that provides value, because if you are learning how to, for example, be a be a coach, right? At some point you have to practice, right? You got to practice. Start practicing, and then that's going to help you make the effort towards the success that you're looking for. You got to practice. You got to practice. Help someone by telling them what you've done, what you've overcome. Let's say you had trouble with building a website. Teach someone how to do that. That could help. You may think, oh no, it's easy. It's easy now. It's easy for you now. What's going on, Stack Benji? It's easy for you now. Hey Bernadette, hey Mitchell. If it's something that's easy for you right now, maybe someone that is two steps behind you can actually benefit quite a bit. And the more that you teach, the more it's cemented in your mind. So the more you become an expert at it. That's why I'm here. I'm practicing every day. And I have no shame in saying that. I'm willing to give as much value as possible within the talents that I have so that I can continue to grow. So that's the first section, talking about the truths. What is actually true? So at the core, um, you have your closest advocates as well as your collaborators. Try to identify 5 people who are your closest advocates and your closest collaborators within your business. All right. And then, number 2, let's think about 5 people that can help you grow. These will be your potential partners, this will be mentors, as well as peers that are constantly pushing, like not peers that are holding you back or moving super slow, but peers that are constantly looking to grow. And then you have the future, your dream connections, your long term connections, your long term relationships. It's also very important to have someone that you can teach, someone that you can help bring up, people that maybe you've been there 5 years ago, but you don't want to forget that, because as you're making progress, the things that you want, the things that you're going to provide value and sell are going to, it's probably going to be the people that were there 5 years ago, or the people that were you 5 years ago. So you can't forget their pains. You can't forget their struggles. That's what's going to help you. So try to think about 5 people for each of those categories. Now, the second section in this book, Give to Grow, talks about the lies. So it calls out 5 lies that hold professionals back. So one of the lies is, I don't have time to nurture relationships. Okay. That also translates into, I don't have time to grow my business. I don't have time to serve people and provide value. Another lie is, I need to be more polished or important before I reach out. Man, I deal with this. I, I hate, looking bad and making mistakes, and struggling with perfectionism. And that's something that I'm still dealing with, but I'm working on that. Um, I remember we were doing this podcast, my wife and I, called Incomes to Money, and we got on this call with Gary Vee. We got featured on his podcast, and man, I felt like an idiot because he was talking about how um, we need to. The podcast looked great visually; it looked great, but are we connecting with our community? And the answer, honestly, was no. What do people actually care about, and are we speaking to that? The answer was no. And it really was a wake up call, because we were talking about things that we felt were important, but it's so much more important to listen to the people, ask questions, and just think about, what do people actually need right now? Which is why I invite anybody on the live right now, ask a question, and we'll just go off of that. I have my, my topics of what I'm talking about tonight, but I would love a question from from you guys, and we can go off of that. And like, what struggles have you had with growing your business in terms of the relationships that you need and the relationships that you have? So another lie is, if I ask for help, I'll look weak. Well, you'll also look weak if your business doesn't grow. That's a tough one. We don't like to get embarrassed. We don't like to feel like we don't know what to do, especially because we know that um, we know that at any moment you can go viral for the wrong thing. We've seen it happen, right? And so, like, that limits our desire to get vulnerable sometimes. But man, life is a risk. Everything, like, business is a risk. We just got to get over it in some way. Decide what's worth it and what's not. Like, it's like a slim chance. The fact that we are even born, and then nothing, like, we're born and we survived childbirth. We survived being a year old, 2 years old, 5 years, 10 years old. Like, all there's so much possibilities for us to not be here, but for some reason we're here. And I've spoken to some people within my on my podcast, Finally Motivated, and one thing that I've realized with some of the entrepreneurs that come on the podcast is, some of them have gone through some really hard times, and they say this is real stuff. Business, social media, that's nothing. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, that is a really great way to think about it. So when you think about asking for help and you say that to them, these are like your biggest, they'll look at you and say, your biggest fear is asking for help and looking stupid. Man, I've been through so much worse that I'll be okay. So D says, I suck at relationship building. What are some tips? Or can I just use my other strengths instead? Well, that's a great question. And thanks for, or that's a great, yeah, that's a great question. So, first of all, I know you. You don't suck at relationship building. You're actually pretty good. I think what you're referring to as the weakness is sustaining a relationship um, after you've initiated, after you've started it, and that is actually a strength. That is actually a strength that you should never forget. So if so, for me, I get overwhelmed quite often with following up and making sure I reach out, but I'm good at connecting with people. So, yes, your second point about focusing on your other strengths, focus on your other strengths more. So, if you are great at initiating that connection, keep doing that and continue to find people that need that connection made. You are a catalyst. Use that hustle mentality to make things happen and keep doing that because that's going to help you progress and move forward. That, like, we talked about how giving to grow means giving value so that your business can grow. If you focus on the things that you're weak at, it's going to be much slower for you to grow your business. You're actually really good at initiating, like starting a relationship, reaching out to people. I've seen you at work and you'll just go. If someone tells you, oh, I need this person, that person, okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm just going to go ahead and make it happen. And I love that. I'm inspired by that. Um, and whenever you can think about something that you're good at that someone else maybe finds it difficult, that tells you that you have a superpower. That tells you I need to do more of that. Don't worry about the things that that you're not great at or you think that you're not great at. Don't worry about it. Use the strength that you know that you have, and the business will grow. Does that make sense? All right. So, um, networking is important. Networking is so important. Your conversion rates, if you're genuine, conversion rates are much better in person anyway. But even if it's not a networking event like in person, people care about themselves. You reach out to them and you start asking, hey, how can I provide value to you? You think they're going to say, I don't want any value. No, they're really just looking for alignment. What value do you have? It's like a negotiation. Well, so we often focus on me, this is what I can do, this is what I can do. But what if we flip the script a little bit and we focus more on networking by seeing like a challenge? How many people can I provide value to? Let's say I'm a real estate agent. How many people can I actually help? What am I doing it for? I want to, well, yes, you want some money, but what else can you do for them? Think about it like that. Like you're talking to selfish people. We all are in some way. So, what can you do for them? And keep that in mind as you're in your networking events, as you're going through your LinkedIn. Just start thinking, what do they need and how can I provide that value? And see if they'll reject that value. It's hard. Like if they're aligned, that's something that I need. Like think about it. When we had our uh, when we had our parking lot filled with ice, I was talking to my wife. We were just talking about how like we need someone to get this ice out of here. And someone approached us and said, or someone posted something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and said, "I can shovel that ice. I can bring my plow. I can bring um, uh, 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 my machinery to take all this ice out." We're focused on what value that we can get. We're just looking for alignment. So if you're frustrated because the strength that you have is not giving you the results that you want, you're misaligned. You're not finding the right people. Look for more people. Look for different people and just keep trying. It's going to be so discouraging the more that you start talking to people that just don't get you, that just do not care for what you're offering. Of course you're going to want to quit. But that relationship that doesn't align with you should not get in the way of the relationships that are waiting for to be made. There people are waiting for you to help them and hoping that you don't get discouraged. So keep at it. Keep looking for the people. All right. We'll discuss more of these. I hope this was helpful. We'll discuss more of the concepts in this book. I think it's pretty cool. Go ahead and get that. Give to grow. But I think just remember that this journey that we're on as entrepreneurs is not just about us. It's about the people that we can help. So keep looking for the people that you can help and help them relentlessly. Keep looking for where they hang out, where they congregate at, wherever they are, whether they're on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, your local networking event, you have something to offer, find someone that wants it. All right? Go out there and be great, everyone. Appreciate y'all. And keep giving. Do, 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 do.